Hello everybody, it's Amy from Winterwood Studio and welcome to my little studio. It's kind of messy. I've been working and I've got sick kids, so but today I thought we'd do a really fun video. We're going to do the 5 art supplies I wish I hadn't bought or wasted money on in 2024. We're coming to the end of the year now, so we'll do a little look back and we'll talk about the art supplies I wish I had not bought this year. So grab yourself something cozy to drink, come on in, and let's talk. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in and we're gonna start talking about the art supplies that I wish that I had not got in 2024. So we're gonna start right away with the very first art supply, and it is Copic markers. This is my collection of Copic markers. There's 3 separate compartments in here that you can open. I suppose I can. I'm not sure exactly how many I have. I think maybe right around 138 or so, but I'll just open them all quick so you can see. But here are all my Copic markers and a couple of the Copic chows. Oh no, I know why those are loose. We'll talk about that. So if you've been here for a while, you know I've done several videos for Ohuhu. Ohuhu are budget-friendly alcohol markers that are almost as good as Copic. They don't do the muted, desaturated colors quite as well, and they don't blend quite as well, but it's really minimal. I wanted to enter the Copic Art Awards this year, and you do need to use Copic products for that. And I thought, Ohuhu has refills for about 50 of their, I think, 380 markers, whereas with Copic you can get refills for all of them. So being nature friendly, I didn't want to be throwing away plastic if I could help it, so I thought it would probably be a good idea to invest in Copic so that I could just keep refilling them and not having to throw away the cases. However, if you have been around my channel, you know that there was a giant Copic disaster this summer. So, I bought almost all of these at the start of the year. I had, I think, about 120 of them at the point that I realized, or I had just bought 120 of them, and I realized that some of the brand new ones that I had gotten had splits in the caps and the markers were all dried out. Now, you know, if you've used Copic markers, you can only refill them if they haven't totally dried out totally. Once they're totally dried out, the marker's ruined, you can't do anything for it. So, I went through my entire collection and I had 26 markers, brand new ones that I had not even used, that were split and dried out. I contacted the company. They said it was a known issue in the caps and they thought it was fixed now, and that the markers that had the splits in the caps were from a year or two ago production wise, and they sent me replacements for the markers. However, in the 26 markers that they replaced, that came to me brand new from them, upon opening the package, 3 of them had splits in the caps. And they were drying out. So I have not bought any more Copic markers. I'm afraid to buy more Copic markers. I know they said that they thought it was fixed, but if it was fixed, would the ones that they shipped to me brand new have been split before I even got them? I don't think so. So Copic markers, a lot of money put into there. They run about $5.85 a piece. I have about 130. I have not checked them since the summer. I'm afraid to. You can see, so here with this is one of the ones that is split, and I tried to wrap the split tight to try to keep it from drying out. I don't use the chisel end anyway, so I mean, it's dry but not totally dried out. So that's my number 1 supply, the first supply that I wish that I had not bought this year. I'm going to clear this up for a second and then we'll be back for number 2. Okay, so the second art supply that I wish I had not invested in this year is soft pastels. These are my harder soft pastels, plus a few brands in here that I was testing out. I think I've got some great American and Mount Vision in this one. I just snap off a little piece and put them in here so I can have a box up here, and the rest I put in storage. And then these are all my Unison pastels. I love soft pastels. I think they're one of the most beautiful art mediums that you can use. The color is so pure and it's just gorgeous. So you might be asking, then why did you buy, or why are you saying you wish you hadn't bought soft pastels if you love them so much? Well, you might have noticed that I have not used any soft pastels on my channel since this summer. And that is because I had a little bit of a cancer scare. So this summer they found, I have Crohn's disease and autoimmune disease, so that means I get scans because they have to check how it's doing. And they found a little mass on one of my kidneys. And at this point, we still aren't entirely sure if it's cancer or not. But I can tell you that that particular cancer is linked to cadmium. Cadmium is used in artist paints, pigments, soft pastels. In paints, you can protect yourself by wearing gloves, not using the cadmium pigments, not putting your paintbrush in your mouth, not dipping your paintbrush in your coffee cup, that sort of thing. But with soft pastels, when you use them, they create a dust. And even with a mask and an air purifier, it's still going to have some microparticles that are airborne. Like I said, at this point, we don't know for sure still if it's cancer or not. If it is, it's a very treatable kind. I won't know till we do the follow-up scan in 6 months. But the doctor did not think that it was linked to the cadmium. He thinks that it's more likely that it's linked to some of the meds I'm on for my Crohn's or the Crohn's itself. But at the same time now, I'm super scared to use them. The problem with pastels is they don't list the pigments on the pastel. So you have a problem with like light fastness that way, but because you don't know the pigments, you don't know the light fast radians, but for me, the problem is I know that some of these are probably using cadmiums. I know for sure like the unisons have cadmiums in them, but I don't know which ones. So I can't, because they don't say, it's a proprietary blend for all soft pastels basically, and they don't tell you what pigments are in them. So I have not used these since the summer, even though I love them very much. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. So yeah. So between the Copic markers and the soft pastels, there are probably several $100s of products here, and I kind of wish I put that money towards a nice scanner or some classes to advance my career as an artist and illustrator. And speaking of learning how to make an income as an artist, if you need some help with that, I suggest you take some of the classes that Mimi Purnell, aka Mimi Moo Illustration, offers on Skillshare, who just happens to be the sponsor of today's video. So a huge thank you to Skillshare. If you haven't heard of Skillshare, it's the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance productivity, and more. Lots more. Like there's stuff on sewing and baking and all sorts of stuff, but I'm talking about the stuff that we're, mostly interested in since, I'm an art channel. So you can learn how to draw and paint on Skillshare. You can learn like oil painting, acrylic painting. There's classes on starting your own art business, how to do social media, how to make your own print-on-demand products, all sorts of stuff. So if you would like to advance your art career, it's a great place to be. If you've been around my channel for a while, you've heard me talk about Mimi Moo Illustration before. She started her art business from scratch, and within 3 years, she was earning a full-time income from her art, allowing her to travel the globe and work from anywhere. Mimi has 2 classes on Skillshare currently: Plan Your Creative Business, Your Path to Creating Income as an Artist, and then she also has Long-Term Success for Artists, Grow and Maintain Your Creative Income Streams. She provides a very helpful little PDF to help you plan your business. She has one for both classes, and it's a very helpful thing. If you guys want to take her classes too, Skillshare has been nice enough to give us a special link. The first 500 people to use my link that I put in the description box down below will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So get started today. So we'll jump right into our next art product that I wish I hadn't spent money on. And just a reminder, I'm not saying these products are necessarily bad. Maybe the caps on the Copic are bad, but some of these are just stuff that I myself wish I hadn't bought, and number 3 is one of those, and that is the Winsor & Newton watercolor markers. So I'm just gonna grab my little collection of them here. Okay, so the reason I got these, this is, I think I have repeats because I didn't look at the sets clearly, so this is the sets without repeats. I think I got 3 sets of 6 each, but altogether there's 6, 9, 10, 11 markers, so there were quite a few repeats. That's not why I wish I hadn't bought them though. So the reason I wish, well, no, let's start with this. The reason I got these in the first place is because these are light fast rated. So you can use them like a water-based marker as an underlayer in your mixed media pieces and not have to worry about it fading because they're light fast. However, that was the plan. I was going to use them as the underlayer in my mixed media pieces, but however, there's only about 30 colors, and it turns out like, I don't know, they're usually not the colors I want. A lot of them are pretty saturated. I think that they're maybe meant for like mixing. I know you can like color on a palette and then add watercolor and use it like a regular watercolor, and so mix your colors that way. That is not how I wanted to use them. I wanted to use them like a regular marker, but light fast. If I'm going to be mixing colors and using a brush, I'm just going to use regular watercolors as it is. That's why I have a whole bunch of watercolors. So the colors ended up not really being my cup of tea. They're all right, but there's not a big enough range, and what they have tends to be more saturated than what I was planning to use them for. Again, not a bad product, just maybe not right for me. And I spent quite a bit of money on these. So again, an art product I wish I had not got this year. And moving on to item number 4 that I wish I had not got this year. It is the Posca markers, and the issue is exactly the same issue. I was hoping to use these in my sketchbooks as like an underlayer for my mixed media pieces, and again, there's not a huge range of colors, and what's there tends to be not, they're too saturated. Again, they're too bright, they're too saturated, it's not the right color. Again, I bought quite a few, thinking that I would just love them. I did start by buying just a couple first, and I did love them, and then I was like, ooh, I really want more of these, and I got them, and I swatched them, and they turned out to be not quite the right colors. So, nothing wrong with them. They're a great marker. They have a nice matte finish, which is nice. The Liquitex acrylic markers are shinier, so if you're looking to layer, these are a little nicer than the Liquitex because things can bead up a little bit on the Liquitex. But again, a lot of money, not quite right for me. So now the last product that I got is maybe one that's not quite as good quality as I thought it was going to be. So you've seen me use the Behong Academy watercolor paper on here. This is the cold press, and it's 100% cotton. This isn't the one I have a problem with. This one is good. It is a decent quality 100% cotton paper at a cheaper price that I do recommend if you are looking for a cheaper cotton paper to practice on. The one that I have an issue with is the Behong Academy. Actually, this is their artist level. So this is even, so the green, the Academy level is supposed to be their student grade, and the artist's level is supposed to be their professional artist level. And this is the hot press, and I don't like it, you guys. I thought I did, but the more I used it, the less I liked it. So I have several pads of it. Plus, before I realized that I really didn't like it, I got the roll. You can buy a whole roll of it. Okay, so here I am. I have the whole roll of it. You can still see it's still in the plastic. A note, I have not actually tried the roll yet. I'm afraid to, because this was more money. This was, I think, like $44 when I got it, and I am afraid to realize that I wasted $44. Yeah, so I know it says it's pure cotton watercolor paper, It does not say 100%. Oh yeah, it does, 100%. It doesn't really act like 100%, you guys. It doesn't act like any 100% cotton hot press watercolor paper I've tried. It acts more like the Fabriano hot press watercolor paper. This is only 25% cotton, and I actually like this better than the Bahang, and I believe that this is cheaper. I'm almost positive this is cheaper than the Bahang. So, okay, these are about halfway dry, and I want to point out that the Arches 100% cotton is still damp. The Fabriano hot press, which is 25% cotton, is still damp, and the Bahang Academy is not damp at all. This could be sizing, but it could also be the fiber content of the paper. So in general, the higher the quality of paper, like student grade versus professional, the professional will have a longer drying time so that you can get smooth gradients of color. When it dries super fast, you can have like banding and like lines. This paper is drying very, very fast. I mean, even the Fabriano, which is supposed to be student grade and is only 25% cotton, is still damp, and this is not at all. It's only been a few minutes too. I don't know, like 4 maybe. Something else to look at is, now this sap green is a granulating color. So granted, this is hot press paper. You're not going to see as much granulation as you would on cold press, but you can see that there is some granulation going on in this sample here. There is none going on here and none going on here. Maybe just the slightest bit of granulation along the edge, but that might have been more how I applied it than the paper. Something else to note is this is very, very vibrant compared to this and this. So you can have stuff going on with the sizing that would affect that, but in general, paper that has cellulose in it, the color will sit more on top instead of being absorbed in, and you will get more vibrant colors with the cellulose paper. Same paint, same wash, applied the same way, brighter. That makes me just a little bit suspicious, honestly. So you can see wet into wet, you had some nice blooming and color spread here. Not as nice or defined on the not 100% cotton paper, which is what I would expect. There is some blooming and spreading here. Not as nice as this, but less than this. Why? I don't know. Again, it could be fiber content, it could be sizing. I shouldn't be speculating on what this paper is. I don't really know. All I know is that it didn't behave the way that I would expect 100% cotton paper to behave, and I struggled with it, and I didn't like it. The more I use it, the less I like it. I will still use it for things like gouache or mixed media painting, but specifically for watercolors and watercolor illustrations, I am not enjoying it. Yeah, there's my thoughts on the Bahang watercolor paper. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Maybe other people use it and enjoy it more. I don't know. So, what are some of the art supplies you guys regret buying in 2024? Because if somebody had told me not to buy some of these things, I wish someone would have told me not to buy some of them. You never know who you might be helping by letting us know what art supplies were done for you this year. So if you could drop that down in the comments, I would love it. It would definitely help me and probably lots of other people reading the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet or left a comment or hit the like button, I would love it if you did. It is a free, no-cost way for you to help support my channel so I can keep making free videos like this for you guys here on YouTube. Until next time, happy creating!